Coding in Google Class.
Okay, guys. So I hope everybody can hear my voice loud and clear. If you
Yes.
can, online guys can also say in the chat one, if no, zero. Yes represents one, zero means no. So this is going to be an interactive session, guys. All our classes will be interactive, and it's not any one-man show. Here we are trying to play tennis and not any, one-man match, or a chessboard where I'm playing myself. So we have to be very careful with this digital world. What happens is that nobody can know whether we are sleeping or the machine is sleeping. So always be active. So guys, so we are trying to keep this, learning process a more of a gamification. Everybody understand gamification, right? How many people are in the game now or trying to get into the game? See, the game is simple. We are trying to, win this game by achieving the required goal, what we are looking for. So I will not take much of motivational session on today part of it or things. Usually, many of my classes, many students find that most of the class is covered on motivational point, but we are making some improvisations again. So of course, a little bit insights are always important. Please keep it in mind. The reason you are joining for these courses, we are all specialized in data science, data analytics, artificial intelligence. This is our core area from data science. We are specialists in these people. and only this area. Okay. Data Mines is purely for data mines analytics. So you are welcome to this, being part of this. You are chosen mind to have a data, and we're trying to perform some analytics through this process. And every bit of information what I'm going to share during our regular classes, it also basically my experience insights. And who are all working professionals are there, they all important our point of view. For example, let's say you want to invest in a stock where it is growing and growing and growing and growing, right? So how does it grow? Since you are now somewhere in 2025, 2030, 2035 or 40, 2050. As the progress of this calendar grows, you want your skills and salaries also to be growing. Your skills and salaries. It's a fair representation, what you can see. It's a fair representation, right? As this grows, this also has to grow. So by 2050, so of course, whichever pretty many people are 20s or 30s or 40s, over pretty much at least you are scaling, looking for next 20 years market. You don't want to learn every day same thing again and again. Anybody has same food every day? I mean, of course, many people, but you want variation in that same thing. Maybe chicken, you have different flavors again, or vegetarian. What I'm trying to say is that learn some skills which helps you to grow as the time grows. And one of the excellent in the market currently, I moved into 2013 in area of artificial intelligence, data science and data analytics. And 2025 today, it sees very fresh in the market. I'm still surprised to see that I came from ERP background. I just started with SQL developer, then moved into ERP background, Oracle ERP, and I still, similar like you, I went on to see while I was working professional, while I was working in Dubai, particularly client role, when I have seen that in 2013, they were talking about 2015 and 2020 and 2025. I was part of one of the steering committee meetings. And what is this is little bit later part. It's a management point of view meetings, but they were having a vision board for what software they may require in 2015, 2020 and 25. Surprisingly, it is 2013 only. You got my point? Now you also want to see yourself in next, by end of 2025, where do you stand? By end of 2026, where do you stand? At least, 27, like at least here near to short-term goals, next 1 to 2 years, 2 to 3 years. Similarly, IT companies also don't have not only the quarterly, monthly or annually, they even have 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line. So if you think yourself an organization and you want to grow your value, how do you grow your value? When you give good service or you develop a good product. What is the most good product or good service you can give? By catering to the your companies through your service. Whatever you learn through these channels, today's market in next 20 years, at least I can tell you, at least 20. Why do I guarantee next 20 years? Let's say 2050 at least. Why do I guarantee? Why? Because we are in 2025 now, and this Python is not something today. It came in 1991. It is even before Java. So even before Java, Python came in the market. So on that basis, I can at least guarantee what is going to be for next 25 years. How long it took for it to be market leader today compared to other programming languages in the market. Still, when I talk about today, so whether you talk about AI, whether you talk about data science, whether you talk about data analytics, all they require is the minimum programming language, anybody to get into these roles, any of AI, DS, DA, or any new technologies, whether you talk about blockchain, you talk about cyber security, you talk about front-end applications, back-end applications, anything you name, any software, including testing. People feel that testing is one of the easiest software job which we can. Even testing has to have now Python, Selenium automation. Now it is surprising that all the software world itself requires Python. So this session is for today to get you the introduction on Python. And anybody who are joining very first day, for data analytics or data science course or AI course, we can have little extended conversation after the 1 hour session of our Python, because there are audience who already joined us, who just finished 3 to 4 hours, 5 hours of big data session, which we can cover for you also little later. The backup videos are there, but today is the day 1 session for us. So the agenda is very clear here. Today's agenda is very clear. What is Python? We are trying to talk history about and features about the Python. How do we install Python, which I will may show you today and tomorrow also, hands-on. And how do we get started with Python? And all of these things, what are these things, that's why. So, when I say gamifying, the reason I meant is that today is out of 24, 25 sessions, today we are in session 1. Every day it will be 1 session. Okay, we will also help you to understand that next 25 sessions, what you can expect on daily basis. Today is day 1. So again, you'll have day 2. The topics what we are going to cover, you can look at it while we are discussing the classes. You can do ask the questions during the class regarding to the concept. Again, day 3, day 4, and so on. Like, you'll have that very simple gamification of everyday topic, and it is meant only not for me to complete the class. It is also meant for you to also finish up the topic then and there. Don't look back again. Practice 3 to 5 examples with that. A little bit of those things are required. So as you go ahead, 11, 12, fundamentals, dig deep. We'll go from here. Now still, I think we have to just headline change has to be there. It is actually Python Advanced. I think I will tell, we have to make changes, because at least till, till 5, 6, up till here, I think up till here, 3, 4 topics, up till here, we are covering Python fundamentals, and along with the list, tuples, and little data structures. From there, we start advanced part of it. So like this, when we see over 25 sessions of Python, we have, including OOPS, polymorphism, inheritance, and NumPy is pretty much useful for data analytics and data science. Then again, as we go ahead, 21, pandas, 22, 23, 24, 25. So it's going to be, nice everyday session, guys. So the concepts are there in front of you. The work we are going to do, you are also going to learn along and do along with those things. So as it is discussed that we will be covering Python today. So let us have a little introduction on Python part of it. And anybody who has doubts, do ask in between, no problem. So why do you want to learn Python programming language? You already got little idea now so far, whatever I discussed. You want to see yourself future in learning, earning, particularly we see also for people who are freshers. Also, we have people audience from freshers, working professionals. Working professionals are also with 10 plus, 15 plus, and 20 plus years experience, guys. Probably they are expert in some of ETL tools, some of backend tools. Some people are SQL, but Python for them is new. So for me, whether you are a working professional, whether you're a fresher, for both of me, for me, you are a fresher. Otherwise, you wouldn't have joined this class. So people for working professional, freshers, the learning is same, simple. So you're all freshers, as simple as that. Only thing is that maybe the working professional is getting already 25 LPA and is learning. This guy is maybe 0 LPA per now. So both, this guy is looking for 40 to 50% hike. For that purpose, he's learning this Python. This guy is trying to find the, he's trying to find his first breakthrough, and he's learning this course. Either ways. So everybody, audience, are clear about what you are here, what is your purpose. Okay. Anybody has any questions in between can also ask me. Do not hesitate to ask any time of during our class. You can always post in the chat also. Now, if I'm also if I ask you something, please respond for that. It will be helpful for us, all of us. So learning Python. So learning is not listening, guys. There is a difference between listening and learning. Learning means you are also doing it. You are doing it actually, nobody else. You are only doing it. You want job, right? Nobody else. So simple. Now, before we go about what is a program or a programming language, I'm not going to talk about again probably your school level or college level what is a program and what is a syntax. I'm not going to talk about it. It's simple. It's nothing but a language, right? Any new language you want to learn, obviously, first you have to read, should be able to read, you should be able to read. Then you should be able to write it, any language, whether it is Telugu, Hindi, Arabic, Gujarati, Marathi, Hindi, or anything, any language. First, you should be able to read and then be able to write. Okay, let's say now basically you were able to read and write, you have learned it. But your reading is excellent, 100%. I would say in rating, in terms of rating, I would say this is excellent. But coming to writing, you are just good. There is a difference between reading and writing. If I'm asking you to read any paragraph or any newspaper, you have a good accent, your tone is good, your pitch is good, you are able to read. If I'm asking you to write, your writing could be not that good. Your grammar could not be that good. See, somebody else wrote something for you, you're reading it fine. But to write it, maybe again you require these fundamentals, growth very strongly, writing skills, grammar skills, handwriting skills, etc. and all of it. Everybody agrees this. So for I'm talking about a language, same thing will be for programming languages also. Do you agree, guys, with me? So when I'm saying programming language, then first you should be able to read it. Any programming language. First you should know, okay, this is Java programming language. This is Python programming language. This is SQL. When you look at a programming language, you should first identify it, which language it is. Am I right? So then you will be able to write it. Again, writing also, it doesn't mean that because you just are able to read it, you can write it. No. Writing also requires a lot of efforts. And this comes with only practice. This clearly comes with practice. So whatever you are going to learn and practice and then implement it, this good has to become excellent also. That's nothing but your syntax. The way you write your syntax, the way you use the syntax. Now, excellent is both fine. But if I'm asking you to write a poem, so that means poem you can't write, everybody can't write poems. Poems in the sense, of course, you are able to read, of course, you are able to write. If I'm asking you to write an Arabic poem, now you're learning on reading only is difficult. Now writing is more challenging. If I'm asking you to now write a poem in Arabic, or let's say more go to neutralize language Sanskrit. If I'm asking you to read Sanskrit, it's difficult already. Writing is God knows. Poem, then you have to be, somewhere angel. So completely. So, but again, what I'm saying to write a poem is like you need to have that aptitude. This is nothing but called like, your code development. Some excellent codes, it is nothing but it's an art actually. Writing a code is an art. So how many people are able to write this art or do this? Hardly 5 to 10% in the market. In whole of IT world, you'll find that only 5% to 10% people are who are like poets, who can write the code of art or art of code. The remaining 90% people, I'm telling you, 90% people are like, where you can call somewhere in between, somewhere in between excellent and poem, they are called copywriters. Okay, nothing but cut, copy, paste, cut, copy, paste. IT is cut, copy, paste. How when you see that, how do you cut and how do you paste it is important. So this was just a simple narrative story to help you to understand where do you stand currently. So you have to find yourself where do you stand. Somebody working professionals already have some idea about programming. So this becomes easy for them to just understand the, what I say, rules. How to learn in terms of reading and writing. So the rules apply same for any programming language. So as we go ahead with Python programming language today, so why would you use Python now? Because it is clean and easy. Compared to any programming language in the market right now in 2025, anything which is clean and easy. This is what we wanted to hear every time. Clean, easy. That means the code doesn't look like, somewhere, you go to a pole and suddenly you will find all wires here and there like this. In an electrical shop or somewhere you'll like all current wires here somewhere like spread out. But here when we say clean, nicely spread out as per the requirement. okay, nicely spread out as per the requirement. So the code is very clean and easy while we are using Python. Python is just called as modern day programming language. Modern day programming language. I call it as modern day programming language. This is also called as high level programming language in terms of programming languages. High level programming language, which is very high level programming languages in simple words are, more near to human conversation, human language, more near to human language. Why? Because whatever the syntax you are writing, pretty much it has to be understood by humans, and the language interpretation should be in a such a way that, because while we are interacting with the machine, okay, it understands only one language, binary language. Okay, in terms we call it as actually low level language. Okay, if I am saying, data mines, okay, it's easy for you to understand if I'm saying data mines. I can write in a program data mines, but if I'm asking, before the machine converts into its low level language, it could be 100100001, okay, only for one single letter. How you want to see practically? I'll show you something. There are different ways of conversions of data, right? So when I say convert binary to decimal values, if I'm saying, let's say I'm saying instead of binary, I'm saying textual data to, it's a binary form. I'm saying use it data minus. So this is a high level language. For every programming, all high level languages like Java, C, C++, Python, all are high level languages only, very near to human language. If I'm writing data mines, I'm asking it to convert, see that the data mines binary form, which is low level language, is this much, 011, 011, 100. So this is machine learning language. All your computer machines, laptops, mobile phones understand this language only. But this conversion, how it's happening? Now this conversion, when I'm writing high level language, internally the software should convert into low level language. So those are called interpreters and compilers. Converting from low level to high level is called basically interpreters and compilers. Some of the softwares which are there from low level to, okay, or I would write like this, from high level to low level language. The converters which are there are called interpreters, compilers. There are softwares actually, there are internal softwares. You don't have to know much about all these things, whatever I'm speaking, but you should know the concept here. So high level language to low level, if you wanted to convert, there are softwares here. So again, Python uses particularly interpreters, which is more easy and very fantastic. So as we progress, we will see that how today we are covering introduction. We'll talk about, we are not talking about how this interpreter or compiler works. They are standard softwares. We'll not talk about that, but how our product should behave when you're developing any product. Okay, particularly let's suppose your washing machine is there. When you're pressing a button, it should be switching on, switching off. This internally, whatever happens is happened, but what is the program associated with it? When I'm particularly, let's example also, I'm logging into this IRCTC. Okay, now this is a website, everybody knows. This is a front end part of it, front end portion of it. I'm traveling from Hyderabad to Delhi. Okay, who develops this? There is a UI UX developer, and this could be a front end Python application or a back end Python, mostly back end is Python application. And when it is built, when I'm trying to look at, to book up some of the ticket here, and I'm just trying to search it. While it's searching, it is retrieving the data from backend. The data what is presented for you now is, it is just connected to the backend. It went on to connect to the database. And when I'm refreshing it in real time, it is, communicating it in real time. Within a fraction of a second, less than a second. When I'm communicating it, it is communicating from the database. And it is basically backend process, whichever this communication it's doing, it is through Python API. Through Python API, if I'm showing again this here, Python API. We will understand all these things in detail in coming days. Don't worry. I'm just trying to make you to understand what is application happening here. So there is an API server, which you can see in this here. From database, it's connected to different client servers. If the image is more clear, would have been better. But there are some APIs. API is nothing but the program what you're writing. And it's a very big API. You can see currently when I'm opening this page now, this is the face from a laptop, from application. This is going for requesting it. This API is nothing but your Python programming. It's connecting to the database. It's again responding here, and again giving it to back. And this is in real time. Real time actually means when you're doing your PhonePe transfer, you're seeing your balance. Okay, and balance is getting debited and credited at the same time. That is real time. And is possible through only APIs. And APIs in Python particularly, you can write the API through Python, Java, and many more other programming languages. In today's market, anybody who are going, so now let's say you are trying to buy iPhone now. Would you buy iPhone 10 or 16 plus now, whichever it is basically? So obviously you'll buy latest one. So the customers who are going, they are all going for Python new developments, not the old one. Java is forever green, no problem, no doubt. But next 20, 30 years, let's say next 4 or 5 years, you want to invest. Why will you invest in iPhone 10 then when you have iPhone 16? Similarly, Python is similarly next 5-10 years, or in fact 20 years also, you'll find that this is more popular. There are many reasons for that. We'll talk about that. But the communication is happening through API, Python API. API is a very large, big program. In that, you are writing small programs, program 1, program 2, like this. You are trying to write or read these programs now. How to get started? We are discussing in next 25 sessions. Okay, why am I talking about all these things? We are talking about this application. While I'm checking on this, and if you can see, this is real-time checking. Now you must be wondering, sir, what is that rocket science? I'm doing many times this one. PhonePe, how many people might have done PhonePe? Sir, today only, just now before entering class, I did, sir, PhonePe. But if you see technically, you might be wondering, wow, what an application this is. Who built it? How many developers were in part of it? Who got this idea? And how this customer response is happening, request. Start thinking technically now. Start thinking technically in a form of like a Python developer, like what kind of services might be using inside internally, what kind of softwares are associated. You would like to know now because you're a technical guy now. So the more you try to look into it, you'll feel more excited. You'll get goosebumps basically. What happens now in this one page? So many things are there. So many developers' efforts are there. So many software engineers' efforts are there. But what we are discussing, the context is Python, how the response is happening. So when I'm clicking open this, if I'm pressing on this confirmation probability, anybody has any idea what is this? Anybody? Whether would I get my ticket confirmed or not in a very layman's language. But if I'm clicking open this, now currently it is showing error. Why? Because Tatkal is happening now, Tatkal time, premium time. So, but otherwise in afternoon, you'll check it out. You'll find that there's a prediction number, 55% or 60%. But who is be more interested to know about what is happening behind this button is data scientist. The data scientist, because hundreds of data scientists created this only one feature, one button only. But for that, whole different algorithms he has built. Only one, this button you can see. If I show you this here, you'll find it little later. After afternoon, you can try it out. When you press this confirmation button, you'll find that, I'm just trying to show you the image, how it looks like. Yeah. So this, it will display when you click on that waiting list portion of it. When you click on the waiting list, you can see that there is a confirmation availability of your ticket getting confirmed 60%, 70%, or 80%. And this feature has been developed by whom? Data scientist. And through what? Through he has learned machine learning for that. And what is the platform they are using currently? they are using Python. For data scientists also, Python is useful. For data analytics people, whatever the display you are having, nothing but is data analytics actually. The display what you have on screen right now, they are also using Python. And for front end, back end, API in between, everybody are using Python. Why now here is that why it is useful for you also to learn Python, because front end person, back end person, data analyst, data scientist, when they're all using Python, so even testing person now is using Python. Why? Because it will save up a lot of cost for the organization. Because now this person will not tell, front end person will not tell, sir, I don't know Python. Your data scientist knows Python, but I know only Java, so you get me the code in Java. So again, translating Java code to Python, again, Python to Java is a effort, money cost. So to avoid all these things now, it is there in the market trend that everybody are learning Python. Why? Because it will save a lot of cost for everybody, individuals. Also, it will also help organizations, again, even for you, what is in for you is that you'll get more opportunities as a Python developer, data scientist with Python, data analyst with Python, and testing with Python. So testing, so many areas have come up here. That is idea. So you understood that do 2-3 things, real-time applications while I'm discussing here. Let us see which companies are using this Python now. If I'm just taking it back, what all companies are using Python? Let's see, quick peek. And let us see some notes on that also along with that. The topmost website which is searched on internet is Google. And let's say, what is its use? Google is one of the largest users of Python. Why? Because the whole population is using Python or Google. So Google is using Python. So people should also use Python. Widely used in scripting, automation process, and web development. Just what all the areas I just discussed, which is nothing but automating process is nothing but your API. Transactions happening in real time. Web development, nothing but the front end development and back end development. Okay. Scripting, which is actually data scientist and data analyst pretty much are not doing too much of hard coding, but simple code where they can easily help to build those models. Python is a core part of Google's infrastructure and been instrumental in building some of the company's internal tools like Google Search, Google Maps. Google Maps is built on Python. Google App Engine, YouTube, right? Facebook, you can see Meta, and they have built excellent products. And even Instagram, what you see, is used by Python. Netflix, Spotify, Dropbox, Reddit, Amazon. How do Amazon uses? Even Amazon has its own way of creating softwares and many things in the market, but still they are using Python for backend services. So are we working also on backend Python? No, we are not working in Python backend. Anybody only for Python full stack? If you have Python full stack, then you may need to learn Django and Java HTML. So your target role is data analyst, data scientist, or artificial intelligence. You don't have to know full backend services, not required. But 80% we are already covering. Only one framework which is called Django framework, which is not part of our curriculum. But anybody who is part of Python full stack course, we will cover the Django as well as some of other Bootstrap, CSS, HTML, which are Java related. For people, Python full stack. But difference between data analyst, data scientist, and a full stack Python developer is that 85-90% we are covering up till advanced. So you can understand that now. NASA usually doesn't use any programming language outside. They use their own programming languages, but still it is using for scientific computing. This is the reason actually why data scientists are more popular today and why they are using Python programming language for this. Earlier data scientists used to use R programming language, but today Python has overtaken. Why overtaken? The speed, the efficiency, the way it works, and particularly for big data, Python is more efficient. When we say big data, the 5 V's: volume, variety, veracity, velocity, and out of those things, value. So Python is more efficient than any of the programming languages in the market. So as you can see, Microsoft is one again. Okay, Instagram, Airbnb, Uber, IBM, Pinterest, Slack, all these companies are using now. Just to tell you, in summary, it is used for finance, scientific research. Today's market, actually only two things you see. The market is more keen towards. One is innovation in terms of scientific. You talk about SpaceX. Yeah, it's good. It's something, futuristic. Something, again, next alternative you are more hunger of is finance. Money. How do I get money? That's what, you basically, either many of the, people who are planning to have careers, they look into things, either innovation, means nothing but research, nothing but futuristic things, which is called artificial intelligence or data science or data analytics. Data science, data analytics are all under the umbrella of AI. AI is a very broader subject, okay? And that what is your role and responsibility? Otherwise, finance. So a combination of finance and AI is deadly. So again, we will discuss all these things in coming details, in coming days. But what are the applications now? As we see, they are very widely used in data science and analytics. And we'll talk about in our curriculum, you already see that everything is whatever in the screen right now is covered in our course. Pandas will teach you. Before that, before even going to pandas, why pandas? Because it is very, very simple to use. Lot of data manipulation activities. If I show you like here, pandas, this is data analysis library, and it is for fast, powerful, flexible, easy to use, open source. Open source means free to use, right? So this language is very, very useful. This language is very, very useful in this context. So pandas is the very important part. If you want to create your own algorithm, then we will be using NumPy. This is again very faster processing, a scientific computing library. Even actually NASA uses this NumPy. The full name is called numerical Python, right? Numerical Python. I hope the pace is fine, guys. Everybody are able to follow. Say yes, 1 in the chat, 0 in the chat. If it is not following, you're able to follow, guys. Great, Venkat. Yeah. Everybody, I want you to participate if it is informative session. Yunus, thank you. Shushmita, great. Everybody can post 1, if not 0. I will try to help you out to understand your perspective also. So this, whatever the terminology you are seeing as you go forward, because day 1 for many people, but as you proceed till day 25, this will become normal terminology. Okay, this probably, as you progress, this all terminologies become very simple for you, very normal for you. And this, not only this, but the concepts in this while you're working also will become very easy and simple for you as you progress. See, learning and understanding is very simple process. Only the difficult part is that you are sitting and learning. That is a challenge. The biggest challenge is that keeping your mobile phone separately from far away from you, opening the laptop and doing hands-on. That is a challenging part. Okay, everybody agree with that? Okay, great. So now TensorFlow, what is again? This is reason for why the deep learning models are in the market, the Keras and TensorFlow, which all you see, including your large language models or DeepSeek or conversational AI, whatever the advanced part of it, all are because of TensorFlow actually particularly. So we have nice Scikit libraries. Again, what am I saying here? Why am I talking about all these things? See guys, this is a Python applications. Through Python, we are able to work in the data science and analytics area. These are all different. You don't have to code. The codes are already there. They are pre-built libraries. They are pre-built libraries. These are already there. You just have to call them and use them. You are not going to create any new code in there. So AI is nothing but again machine learning. Again, we talk about NLP area. So as you see this, Python can be used in all of this area, not only very greatly, but web development, whatever I discussed, backend, and the particularly Django and Flask APIs and the APIs, serverless architecture, many are things which are in the software world. Software world is a very like ocean, guys. So in among them, what is your focus area? You have to keep it. Automation, cyber security, Internet of Things, blockchain. As I told you, I will give you these notes also, don't worry. So you can refer it a little later. And game development, very largely, very, very serious. One of the note is game development, and creating a game is not something easy actually. And using Python is one of the best programming languages for gaming. Okay. So whatever you see today, we will discuss many of things we will discuss in our coming classes. While this is widely used in many of the areas. Again, quickly connecting back to our the basic. So again, so far you understood that applications are there. Python is very useful. You understood in modern day 2025. So, but again, when we look at it, different types of programming languages, which we again discussed, which are like high level programming language. On the top of it, you'll find Python, Java, and other programming languages, right? These are low level languages, like all your hardware systems, machines, everything. They understand ones and zeros. What are the reasons? How they convert? Interpreters and compilers. Among this is most efficient, more better one. And compilers, in C programming languages, you will find actually compilers. Now, are we going to listen this again, read about, learn about interpreter softwares? No, not required. They're like translators. Like, when, okay, somebody has some question here. Let's see. Good. Okay, no questions. Great. So what we see is that one part. Now, when Narendra Modi goes to USA and he speaks in Hindi, okay, and okay, let's say not America, but let's say Russia. Vladimir Putin speaks only Russian language. Do you think Modi understands that? So why not? He's a PM, he should know. If he's a PM, he doesn't know, it's not guaranteed that he should know. He has a translator carrying with him, so he'll be able to, the good efficient one, interpreter and compiler. Narendra Modi carries interpreter, Rahul Gandhi carries compiler. Why reason? Recently, I've seen one reel actually, surprisingly. Rahul Gandhi told one line of speech. The translator who was telling, he was telling 3, 5, 10 lines in Telugu actually. And he was wondering, he gave only hardly less than 1 minute speech, Rahul Gandhi. The translator was giving 5 to 10 minutes of speech. He was wondering what he was talking. I'll share you that video if I have it. But again, here, interpreter is nothing but like compiling every line. It is executing and checking for any errors at the very first line. If you have error at the first line only, it will immediately notify that you have an error. The beauty of interpreter is that if you find error, it is saving time. Compiler, on the other hand, let's suppose you have 1,000 lines of code. Okay. And after reading the whole 1,000 lines, it will tell that there was an error in second line. That is the difference between compiler and interpreter. You understood, right? The major difference between interpreter and compiler is that this will read one statement at a time, whereas this will read the entire program and try to, if you have errors, obviously programs will have errors when you're doing it. But if your error is at the very first line, it's wasting time, compiler. But again, there are pros and cons with both of it. Pros and cons means advantages, disadvantages. I'm not going to take, much of all these things in, part of it. You can have a reading part of it, which helps you to, understand a little bit. But again, this is generally about all programming languages, just not Python. So compiler, so basically is doing what? It is from the source code, executable code, machine, again, intermediate, again. Interpreter can also be in between this, software. So again, these are all these things. What is Python? So it is a procedural and object-oriented programming language, which is supporting OOPS. People might be hearing, object-oriented programming language, which is again, you'll have polymorphism, inheritance, all of these concepts. Just like any programming language, the standard components are always there. The concepts are always standard here. Just like more near to Java, you can say. Anybody who knows Java, does Python becomes easy? I won't say that. You have basic idea of any programming language, it will give you idea. But if you have any zero programming language, I think you can do much better than these people. Similarly, like I'll tell you one thing. When I was in Dubai, of course, in 2010, when I was going for a driving license test, before that, I already had 10 years, I mean to say near to five years, somewhere around 5 years, I had already experienced, license. So when I went to the test, I said that I have 5 years, I can easily clear off this test. Okay. And when I asked that with a Shurta means police person, he said, who all have experience in India, there is definitely 1-2 test he will fail. He was confidently saying. And I was asking why. Anybody can tell me why? Yes, steering. Why? Because is of course right hand drive and left hand drive. Not only this, why? Because in India, we are very much acquainted with driving left, right, left, right, left, zigzag, 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 and finally we'll find that we are nowhere. Okay, but in Dubai, the roads are very pretty much clear about the boundaries and the speeds and everything. So this pretty much you can sleep and drive also. But again, what I'm saying is that point here. So subconsciously, our mind is so much trained that it's not easy to adjust. Similarly, what I'm saying actually, while you're taking up these classes, regularly at this time now, for you at least 3-4 days, it will take time adjustments for you. And actually, when I'm saying put hands on day one, hands on means today itself you start programming in order way that going forward you get adjusted. Daily you should open Python and do it, and not copy and paste. Don't do copy paste whatever the programs we are going to do. You type it, literally type it. Your subconscious will be able to gather it. Your subconscious will be able to train. You're training your mind. Please keep it in mind, everybody. You're not learning something new. Actually, you're training your mind something new. So whenever you're trying to do something new, always you feel challenging. So you please keep it in mind, your mind, whatever you train your mind, it's going to be there for you. And when I'm saying these words, it's pretty much going to, when we are talking about in machine learning, training the machine, how we are training the machine with what sort of data. Similarly, how you're training with your new concepts or new variations, while you're training your mind. So when I said these things, so Python is more easy for person who are actually freshers. Why? Because the person who is already Java holder, he will always think like Java. He will write mistakenly many times some code which is very much close to the Java than Python. So it is for freshers who are learning well and very much for you it is very easy and cakewalk as you're learning for the first time, and it is much more easier than the Java part. So historically, if you see, Python started back in 1991 by Guido van Rossum. Anybody knows why it is named Python? Okay, anybody knows why it is named Python? Very first question. Akhil, Manoj, Mustafa, Naga, Nisha, Shashi, Satya. Okay, great. We have an answer here. Yeah, why it is named as Python? Okay, how many people are at Google search? Now, the first, I'm telling you, you want to enter into this industry, IT industry, you should be good at Google search. Simple words. You should be good at Google search. I know you are getting ChatGPT also today. I know you're getting a DeepSeek also today. But can anybody know how to Google? How many people know how to Google? Okay, everybody knows, but nobody's telling me the answer still. Why it is Python? They don't want to? Who told cheating? There is no cheating actually. I'm asking, did I tell you? Did I put any condition? Don't use Google, don't do Google search. Did I tell you? In fact, I'm giving you a hint, Google search. How many people are proactive is very important. Be active. Be ready to answer, be ready to participate, be ready to do it. No, if somebody says it's a mistake, then you acknowledge it. Okay, it's a mistake. I don't know. I did not, nobody told me the rules. You can always make mistakes. You can always make mistakes till somebody tells that it's a mistake. Guido van Rossum, fond of cartoon program. Okay,
Web
yeah.
series. It
Yes,
was a comedy series, Monty Python's Flying Circus.
absolutely right. Monty Python. It's a Monty Python comedy troupe, actually. He was enjoying this, English shows, and he got inspired from this shows and he named it as Python. Right? So this is important. And how do you think you do error debugging, guys? If you have any error in the program, okay, very interview point of view, but a very big challenge for you who are all first time into the market, entering into this area. Will you know the answer from somewhere when you don't know the answer? Your mind will know only the data which is there, the data. Do you think the second person will come and help you in that error? No. You have to do debugging. Debugging is nothing but you are going to do Google search. It's not cheating, guys. It's about trying to rectify your mistakes. In IT, if you are thinking that you are worried or scared of doing mistakes in form of errors, then you are unfit. You should be doing errors only. By solving these mistakes, you are becoming expert. You are basically becoming experienced. Why do we call 2 years experience, 5 years experience, 10 years experience? Because they solved those many problems. Because they are confident in solving so many problems, that's why the salary is more. So how bigger problem you want to solve, in what ways you are solving, don't tell me. You solve the problem. That's it. If you can solve a problem of creating employment for 1 billion people, Narendra Modi will come to Amirpet here in front of you, have a tea with you, or lunch with you, or dinner with you, or 3 days, stay all over. Because the biggest challenge for any leaders in the politicians, or leaders, I would say, in the market is creating employment. It's the biggest problem. So, like problem statement, what we refer as? Problem statement we refer as, which we'll talk interestingly in data science, data analytics, very, very, very detailed. So even every problem statement or the problem you're trying to solve requires it's challenging and you're trying to solve it. So Guido van Rossum, back in 1991, he created. Today's you have around 3.13 version, I say 3.12 to 3.13. I'll talk about this major and minor. But before continuing, let me show you one quick peek of our Python, how it looks like. There are many tools how to play with Python, but one of the simplest tool I will show you, we'll get started with this. Let's say I'm opening terminal. Again, please keep your laptops tomorrow, everybody, for our regular classes. I will ask you to do hands-on session with me along with us. You will be sharing screen also. I will also show you installation, how to install the software. But for now, I'm opening this, Python. I'm calling it as Jupyter Python, Jupyter Notebook. This is the name of the version. This is the name of the version or the IDE, we usually call integrated development environment. We'll talk about this. One of the simpler, for every beginner, they start with this. And it opens in a web browser. How many people are familiar with Python here? 1, 2 guys. Okay. Online guys, how many people are familiar with Python? Shashi, Shri, Shriram, Shushmita, Varun, Venkata, Yunus. Great. Somebody familiar with Python? More good, more refresher. It is a more refresher. So you can see, guys, this is just a web browser. You can see the look and feel is very simple and elegant and neat. And when you wanted to do it also, it becomes, you can do it on mobile phone also. That simple, that sleek it is. So, it is not like any programming language. It is showing that loading, buffering and all of it, not too many libraries. So if I'm just opening a new page here, it means a new session. I'm just opening new session here. Completely new session. Any good developer or anybody, first you should always write the name here. My first program. Let's say 27th February. Any good developer, this is a standard protocol. You want to save your file, create and file me. I'm doing it. If I'm not creating also, it is auto save in Python. In Python, specialty is that it can auto save. In case of power failures, in case of anything, other programming languages, if you don't save it, they won't be able to save. You don't have backup also. But here in Python, every second you find that there is a last checkpoint you say few seconds ago. Every second it is automatically saved. Now, one of the biggest point here, most of the programming languages, you might have heard about it also, or probably you might have watched some YouTube or Instagram reels. We all start with hello world. Means your programming languages, basically saying hello to the world. And in usually, what is this type of data we may have to declare in other programming languages. In Java, you may have to tell this is a string data in Java, but this is a comment. I am not writing anything. I am saying automatically A is equal to hello world. Okay, at least 4 to 5 lines of code it will take Java. But here, if I'm running it and I want to know what is there in the A, it will tell me the output is hello world. This is a specialty of Python. Simple and elegant and easy to work with. And other programming languages, I may have to tell actually this A is a string, all of it, I have to write it in other programming languages. In this, I don't have to, Python is very smart. If I'm asking Python, what type of this data A you think it is, the variable name, it will tell me it's a string data. If I'm saying B is equal to 100, if I'm asking what is this, type of B, it will tell me it's a integer data. If I'm telling C is equal to 56.6, I'm asking what type of this C is this? What is the data type? Data type means the value which is there. It's a float data. In big data topic also we discussed string, integer, float. Okay, and string means nothing but your descriptive data. Your categorical data can be also like again integer, float, numerical values. So Python is very fast and elegant and smooth. If I want to do any analytics, any real-time analytics, if I want to read a data set, it could be millions of records. Is it useful for me? Maybe C in Java, it's not that comfort, not even possible. No, I wouldn't say impossible, but not comfortable in working with. It's a lengthy time and timing process. But here, I may even have to write, hours of code to work with the data manipulation. As I was referring to pandas, I can simply say import pandas as PD dot read underscore CSV, and I want to call this as a data frame name. Okay, and I want to read one of the data set here from here. Documents, let's say data sets from my local folder. It could be a company server also. Let's say I want to read one of the data set from, and it has to be, the extension has to be what format? CSV format. You can have XLS format, CSV format, JSON format. Python can read any format, but now for simplicity purpose, I'm taking one of the simplest data set. I would say, okay, let's say housing. I'm reading the path here. Path is nothing but the where the file is stored. I'm keeping it here. It's a CSV file set. Okay, I'm reading it. What this data can now, if you see, I'm trying to read this data set now. What is there in this data? Now it's beautifully, this all data is containing there in that near to 505 rows. Okay, currently it doesn't have columns, so maybe you'll not find it interesting. What I will do, I will try to read another data set because you may not be able to read it immediately. So I will just give one useful, meaningful data set for you can easily to read to understand. I think numbers. I have all numbers only. Let's say CSV. I'll put CSV. I'll take diabetes. Miss, what is that? I will tell you also. See now, other programming languages, it's a hell lot of a time now, but this I can directly do analytics of this. You can see that this is my data set. So NaN represents missing data. So if I want to find number of rows and columns, automatically it is only showing 768 rows, 9 columns. If I want to say df dot column names, only column names, it is nicely telling me these are all 9 columns. Number of times pregnant, plasma glucose concentration, ballistic, diabetes pedigree, these are all different columns here. If I'm saying df dot age, I'm retrieving only one column. It gives me, okay, let's say, no, I can do that one also. But here, no, why did it happen? Why? Because now if you see, this is a space here. Whenever I have a space, okay, it doesn't show up to me. So df of in this brackets, I'm writing copy here. This column I want to retrieve. I'm retrieving it. This is again excellent in Python. How did you get started? Only with one line of code, this created a table format. And if I have to write, to find any, what is the minimum age in this, then I have to write a programming language, full program in Java. But here it's able to find and tell me what from this records, 768 rows, the age is minimum is 21. And if I'm asking maximum, it can tell me maximum is 81. So somebody with 81 age is there in this rows. In total, 768 patients, you find that somebody with age of 81. There are many things I can do. I will not talk about much of things here now, but there are many things. If I say df.info, simple function, it will tell me every detail of this data. So what this column name? This column is a float data, float type. Again, this class variable is a object type, which is a descriptive string or categorical data. Age is integer data. So I have total, and what is the size of my data? 54.1 KB, kilobyte. And float 5 columns I have, integer 3 columns, object 1 column. This is pandas, Python pandas. Welcome to Python. So now, did I do any programming in this? I don't think so. If basically any question I have, you ask me any question, I will get you. Now you, let's say here, of course, the whole gender is nothing but female only. This is a female, healthcare data set, basically. Let's say you ask me like this, yes, no, which are there. The question is that you want to find this patient was diabetic, yes or no? Yeah, yes. Second, no. Third, yes. I want to find how many yes or no are there. Simply, I don't have to write any programming language. Go here, copy this name, go access this data first, just like age, df of age. Okay, make sure that these are all corrected. And you ask me, you want to find total how many yes and no are there. First, I will write to show you end unique, that only yes, no are there or anything more. Okay, let's say I'm writing this. Okay, only 2 are there, end unique. Okay, now I'm interested to find only unique now. N unique means number of unique elements. Unique means now whatever number of categories are there, yes and no, or anything more are there, only these 2 are there. Great. Now I'm interested to find the value counts. Value counts of this data. You can see no 500 records. Yes, 268 records. Total 768 records. It's fun play, right? This is called scripting language. You are doing analytics, by the way. You are trying to, based on certain questions, you are trying to research it. And how do you research it? By just knowing these functions. If I want to do some statistical, some with Python, data analytics and data science also, most people are interested in this. If I am trying to find the statistical process of correlation, I will get complete picture of this. And we will explain this, what is in detail in coming days. What do you mean by this correlation function? And how it is a range between -1 to 1. It's a positive correlation or a negative correlation. You will discuss all these things in very detail in coming days when we touch Python concepts. So this is the major area why we are going for Python analytics and Python data science. Python is very common for both data science and data analytics. I will also bet you many people don't teach Python for data analytics. We are the only one of the institute who teach Python for data analytics. Those people teach you Tableau, Power BI, but we teach you Power BI plus Python. Power BI and Tableau are both same softwares, data visualization. And Tableau is a Salesforce company. Power BI is a Microsoft company. So one organization, your client, can either use Microsoft or Tableau. They will not use both softwares in one company, right? So it is meaningless to learn same softwares of same genes. So why not you learn Python analytics, which is more beneficial for you when you're working on data analytics part of it. And in fact, many of the Python developers may be recruited as data analyst, but you are as a data analyst with Python knowledge, you are in forefront, means you have more opportunities than the people who are with other tools. This is for data analytics people. Data scientist people, there are many softwares in the market for machine learning. But when you are learning, even you can do machine learning with Java, which is there. Machine learning actually is more popular with C programming language. Still evergreen. But it is very difficult. You'll find that C programmers writing machine learning. So Python is more simpler for machine learning for you to work. Why is also demand, I will tell you. Why there is a demand for data scientists also in this current market is because of the Python. Because working with Python has become very easy. Earlier days, machine learning was only in C and Java, and many people were finding it very difficult to work with it. But a common man today with a BCom background, with non-IT background also to become a data scientist. Why? Because of the Python. Okay, so I hope you understood that importance of Python currently while I'm speaking about this. So anybody, any questions? I will take just 1 minute hold for you to ask me any questions in case you have any questions. Generic question, silly question, no problem. So tomorrow I want you to have your laptops. We'll continue our session. 1 second, guys. Somebody has a question. Anybody question? Any question? Great. So, Yunus, zero. Anything question, any doubt? Zero questions or you didn't understood about this? Yeah, Yunus, anybody, any questions you have? Okay. So we can see that, data science, scientific, web development, finance, we discussed already these things. So that is the reason that applications are, much more there in the market, and it's object-oriented, indentation, easy to learn, cross-platform, free, automatic memory management. All these things are beautifully, we'll talk about it. No strict, it is not strict. It is very elegant to work with it. And you can see in this current scenario, example as that, compared to Java programming language. The below is a Java programming language. This is a Python programming language. So nearly, less than 1/4 of the code you can finish in Python. Whereas Java, it is like if it requires 100 lines, this you can finish less than 25 lines or even less than 10. So you can see that how I'm declaring here, but whereas you have to declare, call different areas of it, then you're able to do the programming. That's example what you find it here. So how do you, if you get error in Python, open source means free, right? If let's suppose you are using some software from Microsoft like Power BI, if you have any, problem in the software, you ask the company, Microsoft people. But if there is any problem in the Python, where will you ask? Whom will you ask, first of all? It's not private organization. You do not pay for any money for that to use that Python also. So Python is open source, but the community is there, python.org. People, very like-minded people are there who have contributed to this success of Python. This is official website of python.org. And you have a community like people, lots of people are there, forums are there. If you have any doubts in this, you can ask again, but regularly 99.9% whenever we have questions, when we have errors, we always post it on the Google. We always post it on the Google. And one of the first, you will find that Stack Overflow. This website you will find a lot of people with lot of Python questions. Okay, you'll find that many of this, you just whatever the error you get, you cut, copy, paste here, you'll find the answer. Many people got similar challenges and you will be finding it. So in Python, if you want to see also what is the latest 3.13 is a version. How, and please, you're not going to download from this Python, but there's something called Anaconda. It's for popularly for data scientists and data analyst. Anaconda Python. If at all you're going to download, you're going to download from Anaconda. It's a distribution, part of it. You don't have to write email address here. You have to just say skip registration. And you have it for all the platforms, Windows, Mac, and Linux. Okay, anybody already have installed it, are able to pretty use, you can start using. Tomorrow, we will download this for Windows, Mac to Mac, Linux to Linux. And we will see one by one, how do you get started with writing your first program in Python. Great. So whenever we are working with this is very, very important part of it. And as we see here, we spoke about it. So what are the key features of it? Readability, interpreted language, dynamic typing, high-level language, extensive standard library. What do you mean by extensive? We have a lot of modules which we are going to learn in coming days, and you can use on cross platforms. The basic syntax I've already just shown you how to work with variables. But coming days, we will talk about just like any programming language, you'll find if-else statement, while loops and loops, everything you'll find it. And this is one of the very, very important area which we'll be covering, integers, strings, list, tuples, dictionaries, booleans. This is like a fundamental of grammars. Like in grammar, how do you find noun, pronoun? These are something very, very important. So slowly we will cover one. By that it becomes, your learning becomes easy. So today is just a starting for you to get, know about. And when we talk about, apart from pandas, if you want to visualize some data, Matplotlib is very excellent again. If you ask me like this, let's say, let's say, what is the importance of this? Let's say I'm saying one here case. I'm saying age is equal to, let's say somebody's age is 3 months baby, 6 months baby, 9 months baby, and 12 months baby. Okay, let's say, and let's say height. is equal to, I'm saying 22 centimeters, 36 centimeters, 42 and 56. Okay, I'm creating these two lists. Okay, let's say import matplotlib dot pyplot as PLT and PLT dot, what can I write it here? Plot of age comma height. And you can see easily I was able to visualize this data now very clean and neat. Did I require any great challenge for this? Only remember I remember that what is a library I have to call matplotlib. In that, this is a function plot age and height. I'm comparing it and I find that these are all there. If I want to add another thing, PLT dot grid, I'm adding here. It will give me some backend to visualize much better. You can find now visualization more better. It's excellent, na? In front of you only created a baby's age 3-6 months time. What could be centimeters in centimeters? I can write X label, Y label also, but I'm not going to just keep it. This is not a lengthy session, so I'll just keep it limited. So again, these are like only two functions I was able to use. If I'm using scatter plot, what you can see, and I just change the style of the plot here. I can easily see dot 2, 22, 36, 42, and 56. This is how data analytics you can easily visualize more and huge amount of data. Like just I have entered only 4 records here, but when you have a table data like this, and how you learn and work with Python, it becomes pretty easy and and is all free. When you're working for the company and when you're reporting this kind of reports for them, they'll feel more happy. So then why so easy, then why are they not doing themselves? So you are the employee working there, you have to do it. So ideally, they don't know Python, they know already other technologies. They are very much occupied with those technologies. But you are learning new, why? Because they don't have time. They're already occupied with their role and responsibility. You are the fresh candidates they're recruiting you as a Python developer, data scientist, data analyst for a fresh thought process. And while I conclude this session, before anybody has questions also can ask me. But the very important point, the agenda from this conversation, you can take it as data science, data analytics, Python, the new modern day emerging technologies. It's all got to do with the way you think. The remaining everything machines are doing. The applications, what you see, the softwares, what you see, they are doing the complex work. The work what is required is you just have to think what you want to do. If I'm asking today one simple question also, you begin many of the people, freshers who are there, you have a one clear idea what you want to do. There are hundreds of courses, hundreds of challenges, but if you have one clear idea that, yeah, I'm starting today Python hands-on, not attending classes or not paying fees and I'm running away. No, you are doing Python day 1 hour, every day hands-on. How much program are you doing on daily basis? 20 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90, 180 days. I'm telling you, I bet you 3 months regularly, if you do this Python, you will be, among the, at least in the market, I would say among the top 25% people. Because many people who learn Python or do Python are hardly only for infotainment, information as entertainment, that's it. But the real people who are working in this area, 25%, you'll find job everywhere. Job is everywhere. Still, we require a lot of people, whether you're 10th fail, pass, degree fail, pass. But if your skills in Python are really good, you can find the job in web development, gaming industry, finance, any area of the business. You tell that I am good with developing front-end and back-end applications in Python. Why would somebody not give you a job? Simple point. And this is going to be rest of your life bread and butter. Okay, guys. So I hope it is very helpful for working professionals. It is very much mandatory these days, Python, because until unless you are coping up with new trends in the market, then again, there is a lot of job security for, point of view also very importantly. The job security can only be secure always by learning new things. And within Python, whatever you learn in next 25 sessions, I'm not saying that is the end of the road. I'm telling that is the basic platform what you have to work upon, because you have to solve the problems then after that. The more poems you write, after a few years, you'll become a Shakespeare. One good poem will come. Not all poems are good of Shakespeare. Only one poem or two poems are good of Shakespeare. Anybody heard about Shakespeare, right? Forgot, huh? Okay. Fine, great. Anybody Virgil Shakespeare's here? Virgil Shakespeare, you know who are those? Blindly sending messages to different girls, around, or guys are all there. They're all called Virgil Shakespeare's, They write a lot of poems, in a lot of inspiration, imagination. So inspire yourself to write Python codes now. Recently, we started posting some reels on Instagram also, which are related to, maybe the guys will learn at least like this. So our team wanted to do something creative, and you will not, surprisingly, you'll see that we got 1 million hits, near to 2 million hits, in fact, for a skill program. I'm wondering now. So that is how they wanted to learn. Okay, great guys. So I hope you have followed today's introduction of how Python get started, and these are basic things. And anybody why, again, this is not something just intro, but this is also important for you to know what Python. Whenever somebody asks you or you are able to do Python, you should be able to tell all this basic information. What is high level programming language? What is low level programming language? What is interpreter? What is compiler? What are different versions of Python? Currently 3.13. Started with 1.0. I will talk about major and minor while I'm talking about the classes. Different libraries you attracted today. Pandas, you have seen Matplotlib. You have seen the basic intro. What is an IDE, Jupyter Notebook. So many things we covered today. Okay. I'm not going fast. I'm speaking different things in one session. How many people, some people, many people, in fact, some of the people say, sir, you go very fast. So actually it is not fast, it is vast. Basically, I'm covering a lot of information in the session. When you actually replay the video, when you underline, you will find that, okay, I have spoken in perspective of working professionals. I've spoken in perspective of freshers. I've spoken perspective of different softwares, APIs. This is not a college session. This is a corporate, completely real-time session. Real-time is not something I will ask you to put your finger in the fire and then ask you this is real-time. No, real-time is something which I'm telling how would be the experience of burning fire. Would I tell you to put your finger in the fire and experience it? No, I'm telling you what are the characteristics of fire. Similarly, what are the characteristics of Python programming language or any of the programming languages you'll find, or the scope of Python programming languages, the reasons why you have to learn these programming languages is all been shared in this current session today. So introduction to today session for Python is for today concluded. Anybody has any questions? I'm open to take. Anybody joining today, guys? Anybody joining today? First today? First today? Hey,
Yes,
hi.
yes.
Yeah, Akhil is there. Yes, great. So Akhil, you are looking for data analytics or data science course?
Data science.
Sorry, I missed your voice.
Data science.
Data science, great. Anybody else? Anybody else looking for any joining for today or joining for looking for course? Data analytics or data?
Yes, me.
Yeah, great, great. So we can have a little extended 5 minutes session if you want. If you have any questions, also I'll answer you. Nisha, Akhil, anybody else? You are also there. Data science or data analytics? Okay, great, great, no problem. So for people who are joining today completely, the rest of the people who already joined Big Data wanted to leave, they can all leave. But for the people today who are attending today, I'm just going to speak more 5-10 minutes here. And Nisha and Akhil, please, if you have any questions, also do ask me. Now let us start with artificial intelligence.
I had a question.
Yeah, please go on. Ask me the question. What you?
How many sessions we have in Python?
Python, it is around 25 sessions.
What about the rest? Like we will have
Machine learning, we will have around 25 to 30 sessions. This Python machine learning, if you are looking targeting for data science, you will have 25 to 30 sessions. These are also 25 plus only. Again, deep learning, people who are going for deep learning, around 15 sessions, 15 to 20 sessions you have. And here, again, you have separately NLP topics also for premium people. But for basic standard people, this is covered. This is covered. For basic standard people, this is covered. So
what about the BI tool?
Yeah, coming here. Then again, coming to BI tool again, 25-hour session. Power BI is 25 plus hours. Somebody asks me, sir, Power BI, it takes 40 hours to complete, you know. So it is not Power BI we are covering for only Power BI certification. We are covering for data analytics Power BI. This is under data analytics Power BI. Please keep it in mind, because there is a lot of other nonsense happens in 15 plus hours, which we are not interested to cover that. We are covering the tool perspective, which are important for you to work in it. So important whatever the number of hours we are telling that the focus area is clear and crisp. We don't want to, put around a lot of unnecessary information. It's very clear and crisp on this part of it. So again, SQL is near to 15 to 20 hours as per data analytics and data science requirement only. So this hours is, I think, is clear for you. And we cover minimum live projects. For standard, we cover 2 number. Live projects means hands-on, we will be doing it. And for premium people, we have already a repository of 25 plus live projects last year in 2024. And similar lines, another 20 plus projects will be expected to be completed in 2025, which you can attend, because subject is not which, we don't want to say that we completed the subject. We wanted to say that we have so many options of, you want to specialize, Python, machine learning, deep learning, Power BI, SQL. This is called a DSA program. People only for data science, you can cover this. People only for data analytics, you can cover this. Specialization. But if you want to earn more, you can tell that, sir, I can do 2 to 3 people work. You give me pay more. In the market, it is there like that. If you want to go for 20 lakhs package, 30 lakhs package, 50 lakhs package, why do you think they will give you packages like that? Because you are, expertise on many of the tools or, things. But one project at one time only, please keep it in mind. One person at one time only can be anywhere, one place. He can't be in 2 places, no? So one time, one project only. If you are machine learning. If you are working in Power BI, if you are working in Python. So your point of thought process is same. But are they interconnected all? Yes, all are interconnected. They all come under umbrella of analytics. They all come under umbrella of analytics. Analytics is not the word only for data analytics. Analytics is also a word for predictive analytics, which is data science. So the data science is nothing but predictive analytics, predictions, predictive analysis, you can say. In fact, you're analyzing on predicting. This is data analytics. Yeah, this is actually descriptive analytics. Thanks for correction. And again, there are other 2 more type of analytics also. Prescriptive and diagnostic. Prescriptive is again how the doctor prescribes your medicine, right? Something like that. So now what is got to do with artificial intelligence? See, artificial intelligence is nothing but it's a field of a study. It is not some technology. What are the jobs associated with AI? You can be a machine learning expert, designations, data scientist, okay, and a data architect, robotics and automation. Okay, like many designations are there. But what is the first subject in machine learning? What is the first subject in AI? Machine learning. What we're teaching here. The first, you could be having any designation in whichever project you are working, automations, gaming, data scientist, anything under the name of artificial intelligence. The first subject is machine learning, followed by deep learning. Okay, and then today's market, you talk about a lot of LLMs and NLP. You have NLP. Again, you have more things like particularly generative AI. Okay, again, we are covering generative AI also in our sessions for premium people. Generative AI also we are covering, which is actually itself is 30-hour session. Somebody wanted already recorded videos also, it will be there. But when we conduct only, we give you access. It's not that we are 100% we are giving. At least every 3 months, we start doing one batch. Whenever the batch time comes, you can join. Don't think that within 3 months, we'll cover everything, all of these things in 3 months. No. It is first 3 months, data scientist track will be finished and data analytics will be tracked finished. But the remaining, which are their extensions, which are freebies, like a lot of seminars, projects, workshops, separate sessions like generative AI, we will be giving you free access over 1 year. For premium people, over 1 year, we give you access. So all this which are there, These are all part of artificial intelligence. So if I'm talking only this machine learning and deep learning, I become more focused to data scientist. If I'm focusing generative and NLP, a machine learning expertise. The different areas, particularly for data science, if you talk about it, you have this machine learning, software industry, software programming language, Python, plus domain knowledge, which while we are doing some case studies, right? Why? Because we are directly pretty focused to develop some profits for the companies through data science channel or even data analytics channel. Okay. So I hope this is very, very important information I wanted to share with you guys. But Nisha and Akhil, if you have any specific questions, you can ask me. I'm open to have conversation. It could be even silly question, no problem. Nisha, Akhil, any questions you have?
Hi, I just have a doubt regarding the data analytics and data science now.
Yeah, go ahead, ask me.
So, yes, I was looking for an Power BI course, the Power BI SQL and DAX, everything. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to know which is better, the data science or the data analytics as per the current standard markets.
What is your background?
I studied my computers.
Which year you are in? I mean, your current graduate?
No, I'm currently working. Yeah, no, I work for past from 8 years.
What are you working as?
No, I work as an multiple. I stay in Dubai, so I work here in multiple process, like in a HR admin, everything. So before that, I was doing like in a data analyst.
Okay. What tools you were using there?
No, we had a software in our own company, so we just used those softwares,
Okay,
which was
great.
not working in other companies which we go. So
So I think you are saying that you are from HR domain, basically.
yeah,
Okay. So now when you want to say like, if you are a BTech from graduation, right?
I did my MS.
Okay, great. So now guys, simple, like here, data analytics and data science, let us just see what are the tools here. SQL, whether if you are a data scientist or data analyst, you have to have this skill. SQL is something the industry requires everybody to have minimum knowledge on SQL, whether data scientist or data analyst. So by this, I would say that Nisha would have to learn SQL for sure. Next, followed by Power BI. Power BI is a software. It's a very quick learn. Like I've already used some softwares in the market, was what you said in HR domain. If you want to analyze the data and visualize the data very quickly, Power BI will be very, very helpful for you. This is for querying the data from database. Because database programming, everybody should have it. And Power BI will help you to visualize the data very fast, like already the software what you used earlier. And this is a software actually, by the way. So the Microsoft Power BI you will be learning for data lake. So you focus on these two first. Why? Because the comfort level also matters. Once you, as a data analyst, if you focus upon, you are quickly covering this SQL and Power BI, first thing. Okay. And third thing, now slowly you're entering into little challenging part of it, which help you to, because you were never into programming side, but now Python programming you're learning. So this, once you are targeting 1, 2, and 3, you're comfortable, you can start targeting for data analytics through your HR experience as a HR data analyst. Okay. Then if you see, based upon if your comfort level, your learning has become very, straightforward in this. Once you understand Python, actually, if you feel comfortable only, then you can come to understand machine learning part, fourth one. Now, for you guys, we have clearly, I hope everybody knows that our program name is called DSA. Whether you're choosing for data science or data analytics, separate tracks, track 1 or track 2, but we are giving these both tracks. If you buy this track, this is free for you. That means we are seeing the DSA program. It covers all these tools, SQL, Power BI, Python, machine learning, up to this one. I hope clear with you, Nisha, right? So once you are comfortable with
yes.
you can get into machine learning also. If you are eager to learn, we are eager to make you learn also. So we are offering this, so you don't have to worry about. So people with data science, people who are looking for, let's say Akhil is looking for data science, he can start with Python and machine learning. And irrespective, if I'm not mentioning, SQL is for surely everybody. SQL, it's basically, are you going to use SQL much in the industry? It depends upon your role. If you're at least even a team leader, whether you're in data analyst or data scientist, irrespective whether you are not there, let's suppose you're in sales department, HR department, you should be knowing the basic SQL. If you know the basic SQL, you can do a lot of report building. You can download from the database. SQL is required. So optionally, Power BI, Python, machine learning, these three areas, you have to focus which area you want to focus more. And if you're comfortable with machine learning, then you have to enter into deep learning part. So somebody, freshers, ideally for freshers, always I would suggest immediately, to learn all the programs in DSA and to focus directly on data scientist. Why? Because by default, data scientist is also a data analyst. Because by this far, whatever you have learning has happened in data scientist, by default, you are data analyst. Why? Because just Power BI only is the difference, right? Power BI is actually a very simple, easy to use visualization tool. Based upon your comfort level, you have to go. For freshers, I would suggest data science track, but already working professionals who wanted to, pretty much for HR domain or sales domain or other non-IT people, I would suggest go into data analytics, then add little machine learning for that. Because this will directly help you actually. In your current role also, it will help you, data analytics. In your current job, your SQL and Power BI will help you immediately. That is the main idea in this.
Hi, I have after finishing a complete DSA course. How experience how do I say it? How experience will I be compared to the market? If I prepare my CV and go in the market, what experience can I put in that I am equal to this?
You can easily put expense relevant to 3+ years experience. Why? Because now this today's session you have seen, I have shown tool only for hardly 5 to 10 minutes, and I was telling the views of it. But the
Yeah.
remaining session, I was talking about the experience and how different insights of it. So experience is always about showing the insights. So easily, many people who all have done courses from us, they have managed to get even 4 to 5+ years also. They were managed to, because the way we use the tool is important. The way we use the topics we discuss. The curriculum, maybe you'll find that everywhere same. You go to any premier institute like Great Learning, Scholar, Upgrade, we compete with them. We don't compete with any local institutes. When you compare the curriculum, I bet you ours looks very good compared to those, but the way we speak about it is through our experience. The way we speak about that particular challenge is about through experience. So you can easily put the answer is 3+ years experience, and you can try for the interviews. And there could be a lot of FAQs which you have to prepare, because the important point here is that the challenges, the projects, what you put and how you speak about it. It's all about the communication you speak. And very importantly, you also have to put only 3+. Why? Because the client always picks only 3+ years experience, guys. It is little challenging for freshers. For somebody entering for the first time in the market, it is always challenging. Somebody who has a gap of 3 years, 2+ or 3+, it's easy for them to get a job. But for people with 0+ gap who are passed in 2025, if I say, for them it is difficult to cover the gap. But anybody 2022, 21, we can always show that you have a 3 years experience and get into the market. And the rest of it, you have to clear the interview. You have to work in the project. Simple.
So, in today's class, you also said that you would be having some live projects. Can you give more insight about it? How, what kind of live projects do we have, or do we work something, or do we get some application and we'll be working on it?
No. Basically, see, this is open source. First thing, this is open source. Different domains we will be having different domains. Like, we will not ask you to do anything. We will be showing you that capstone project is something, once if we select you something somewhere in our things we will ask you to do it. So basically, we will be covering end-to-end deployment in real time. How we are creating a model, how we are developing a model, development model, how we are validating a model, nothing but you are testing it. Then finally, how this productionizing means nothing but how you're deploying in the real time. Particularly, we show in one case with using our live server in AWS. We will show you how to deploy the model. Why? Because tomorrow any company you are working, maybe they are using Azure or Google Cloud Platform, but we are showing you how to deploy in AWS. The whole end-to-end scenario will show you. Like that, 2 projects will show you either from healthcare or financials, some of the any domain. Now, if you are in particularly, let's say when I'm saying only 2 projects, this is only particular healthcare and finance, but there are again telecommunication domain and many more are in at least 10 plus projects over next 6 months. We will covering, every month at least 1 project we target, but already we have 25 plus projects, live recorded videos, which we have already done 2024, which you can watch it also. This is only for premium, by the way. These are all for premium.
Yeah, we are comparing. So
Yeah, what is the question?
How the placement assistance will be for a fresher?
Great, good question. Placement assistance. This is an interesting question. Always Narendra Modi have a chat with me.
that was my next question.
Chai ka charcha, I discuss every time he calls me, asks me
And
suggestion.
what is the basic expectations of a salary? See, I already have experience of 13 years as a operations manager, team leader, then assistant manager and operations manager. So now I'm new to this. I'm learning completely new. Few Excel basics, Excel and everything I'm very familiar
Okay,
because
Akhil, I understand. This is just a common. I understood that you have a personalized question to ask. We can have a consultation little later, because yeah, anybody with, even I said for generally I'll answer you generically. 15 plus and 20 plus years also within from IT background or non-IT background, everybody can target for a data scientist and data analyst role. Commonly, I'm telling, whatever backgrounds you are from, always we have to put in CV last 3 years you are working as data analyst or data scientist. Why? Because if you put experience as 3 years only, you'll get a call. Otherwise, you will not get call. And if you're already experienced candidate with 15 plus years experience, let's say you're getting 25 LPA or 30 LPA, okay, we can always ask 30 to 40% hike. Simple. Why? Because whichever industry we are from, our last CTC only will be the mantra. And how do you put this 3 years experience from the same company or some other company? Then we can assist you in that. We can assist you while in placement assistance on your CV preparation. In our placement assistance, actually we cover CV preparation for you. We'll tell you how to tailor make. Tailor make means how somebody as a HR people look at your CV. Why would they look at your CV first? There are hundreds of CVs in the market. Why would they look at your CVs? But the major keyword in that is you have to put relevant 3 places experience. What is the designation, which project, all this can be discussed in the placement assistance part. Actually, placement assistance is something, we actually help you to tailor make your CV. We'll assist you. Means we'll look at your CV, we'll help you what keywords are important and how it is. Second, we will continue, we'll put 3 mock interviews for you from the industry. 3 mock interviews, either myself and other 2 senior working professionals, industry experts. They will interview and give you feedback. Where do you stand? How do you stand? We will also put up a session for how to market your CV. CV marketing is important. Many people who are in US, particularly, on H1B also, they do the marketing by themselves. They don't rely on the consultancy people. Anybody saying that consultancy will do everything for you, that's the biggest lie. Anything on the earth, I'm telling you. If not, then they'll be charging only 3 lakh rupees for you. If they are marketing for you, they're charging 3 lakh rupees. Backdoor, they say that nothing happens in backdoor. Whatever the steps I'm telling, 1, 2, and 3, they're doing same thing what I'm showing here. What we are charging is 5,000 rupees for placement assistance. That too, particularly 3 hours of mock interviews for our session, CV preparation and marketing. We are not doing marketing. We will tell you how to market. And finally, If you are good with these interviews, we will circulate the fourth one. We will circulate the CV to our clients. We don't share every CV to our clients. We only share selected profiles whom we watch out during our course, who are very actively participating, who are working that too abroad as well as India. We have placed many people in Dubai. We have placed many people in US based on that. But many people, when I say that basically the profiles were fit enough to be circulated. I don't have any personal agenda with anyone. I don't have any personal favorites. But the point is that whatever matters is the subject. Whoever are good with the subject in mock interviews, we would be more happy to send your CV because we get our placement fee from them. And if also there, we charge our placement fee from them. And and in case if you are getting placement through our channel, we would be charging 10% on your CTC. That is also from our side. Our client is choosing you on their projects. We will be charging 10% on the CTC, whatever you get. If you are welcoming to take it, fine, no problem. But we will show you the outside market more broader way. We don't want you to join the company what we show you, or you are selected for that. If you have good skills, you can get tons of calls from the market itself. I hope I am clear with the points here.
Yeah, one more thing, sir. You have given CTC as 25 lakhs or 30 lakhs based on the previous salary. My question was, what will be the average salary if any person just joining or if they have a gap of 3 years, something average salary in the market?
Great. So let's say I have this point here. We have posted recently. Yeah. I'm talking about Indian market here. Indian market based on our some of the analytics here from Glassdoor particularly. So we can see that average 3+ years experience, guys. This question usually comes. So based on the geography, cost of living is more in Bangalore. The minimum expected salary from Bangalore where you can demand is 14 lakhs package or 15 lakhs package. In fact, from even startup companies also. Even startup companies, you can actually target to ask 15 lakhs package. Hyderabad, like you can demand minimum 10 to 12 lakhs. I'm talking Bangalore and Hyderabad particularly. And based upon the cost of living and other factors, usually you'll cite that Mumbai, Gurgaon, Chennai, Pune, the cost of living is Mumbai is more, but the development centers are low, right? The lot of IT companies, development centers are around Bangalore and Hyderabad, and next followed by Pune. Okay, the cost of living is much more simpler in Pune than Hyderabad and Bangalore. So you can target always understand them. These three. Another is Noida. So, but major target is that this is a minimum salary where you can expect for 3+ years experience. Minimum. Now somebody asked me, sir, I got already, in my third year, I'm getting, already from different companies, I'm getting 25 LPA. Then why would I go into this? For example, let's say somebody saying he's an operation manager, third year in the industry, he's saying 25. So he won't be going with again 13-14 lakhs. He can always demand minimum 30 to 40% hike. I'm saying demand, not request, or I'm not saying this thing. He can demand 30 to 40% hike always. Anybody who are getting already some salary, they can ask for hike 30 to 40%. But the minimum salary where you can put for 3 years is this is a minimum average salary. Okay, I hope I answered your question, Akhil. Yeah. And I'm telling you, I have seen people who are getting even 15 lakhs for fresher, but that is for Capital One company. It's a banking company, 15 LPA. And why they're giving 15 LPA? Because I'll tell you 1 second. Some of the guys who got 15 LPA because it is not the candidate is exception, but it's a company standard. Just give me a Okay, sorry guys for interruption. I hope I answered all the questions today. And if anybody has any personal consultation, they can always, check with the coordinator to fix up an appointment, guys. Okay, thank you. I'll conclude for the session for today.
Thanks. Have a nice day.